You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
You can call it another lonely day. You can go your own way.
Welcome back. We got to come back now. We're running out of music, Jen. Welcome back to Our Daily Show, 9:22 on this first day of September. Jen Herring. Right?
Yeah, you got it.
Look at that, bright and early, and I'm not messing it up yet. Walk with us, a great event to really raise awareness for suicide prevention coming our way Saturday, September the 9th. This is at Roxana Park?
Correct.
And now take me through this. So this is something that I think is just really a unique event and a great way to really come together. And how long have you been a part of this organization and putting these walks together?
Well, officially doing the walk myself has been 3 years. We started the first year of COVID. It kind of wandered on to me, and then I've since done that. So this will be the third year for me. Before I participated first in the St. Louis Walk and then in the Madison County Walk before, and that was when it was at SIU.
Really cool. Here, let me slide that over to you. I want to hear you today. So
usually I'm too loud.
No, well, you know what's funny is I always said, I'm a really loud person, and now it's like I have the microphone, so I'm used to talking, like that. But with this event, I think it's really cool that you're giving incentives too, and making this more of a gathering, and really coming together in a community fashion with vendors, with food trucks. Is this something you always wanted to do with this event?
I wanted to grow it. So I knew before COVID, we had about 400 participants, and then COVID happened, so everybody lost everything. So this year I was like, I really want to grow it, and I want to include the community. So many people are like, I got to walk. I'm like,
You're right.
You're like, no, you don't have to walk, but you can come out and show your support for those people. And so we're like, I'm going to try to do the food truck thing. And I got lucky and got a couple of guys that jumped right on board. Sweet Little Things and Rachel and Company. Both of those guys are friends. They're part of the community.
Great
They're big
people.
Yeah. And then we have Ray's Soul Touching Tacos. Ray jumped right on, and then Taylor's Fire and Smoke. So I got real lucky with people that were like, yeah, we want to do it. We like what you're doing. So that was
staple food trucks coming in.
You're right.
Well, and this is such a cool thing. Now take me through the layout of this. How long does this event go on Saturday, September the 9th?
We start about 11. We start off with speeches. I have a friend that I work with that I met, and she lost her son to suicide. So she's flying in from New York. She'll probably talk. I usually talk about my story and how why I participate. Some other people, we do speeches. We're gonna walk. The walk is gonna be a little bit different than last year, but still kind of the same. So the walk's maybe 20, 30 minutes, not very far. So we'll leave the park, go through Roxana High School, and then back into the park, and then the food trucks and everything will be there. So, and then it'll last. We have it till 4, so we have plenty of time to get in there and come get lunch.
Yeah.
And,
And
support.
I just think that, hearing those stories too, because a lot of times people, I don't think, realize, Jen, that there's a lot more people that are affected by suicide that we think we know of. It seems like it's kind of one of those things that nobody really talks about. And it's, to me, one of the most important things to highlight. And just because it's a great way to raise awareness and, hopefully, make some progress. Take me through what it's like to hear those stories, to be a part of those conversations.
It gets easier. I lost my friend 8 years ago. And my family, my friends can tell you how big of a struggle it was in the beginning, because there's always so much doubt. Like, what did I do wrong? How could I have stopped it? And you can't. Because, and you have to realize that, you have to realize you probably did everything that you could, but they were just at that point. And then most of the time it's like, I'm done. I can't, everybody would be better off without me. And that's the mental part of it that it's hard for people to get past. So it's gotten easier. People can walk up to me and I can talk about, suicide prevention all day. It doesn't bother me. I do when I look at my personal, his name was Ryan. He was in a band. He was a great friend of mine. Sometimes I can get really super choked up, but other times for me, it's about his memory, and I don't want anybody to go down that path. I have people, I'm like, I don't want you to ever have to deal with what I did. I don't, so that prevention part of it is me getting out there hey, I really want you to, I don't want you to have to do this, because it's hard. And Kit, her name is Kit. She works with me at my day job. She's in New York. She lost her son over Thanksgiving.
Oh, no.
And it's really weird because I left a job for 22 years and I went to my new job, and her and I met then. And I said, so we kind of crossed each other's paths at the right time. She's the same way. She's like, I want people to know. I don't want anybody to have to struggle with what I did. I want you to know that. So it's hard to hear them, but it's good to hear them because we want to get it out there.
Absolutely. And just to touch on one thing that you said there is recognizing that there's not anything you could do. To me, that would be the hardest part of going, well, maybe if I would have done this, maybe if I would have done, was that one of the toughest parts for you?
Yeah. And I'll never forget, my friend Ryan, his mom and I went to mental health first aid class, which they have all over. You just have to, you got to know where they're at. And I remember looking at her and I went, oh my God, I did everything wrong. And because they're like, because somebody's mountain may be a molehill to me, and you have to recognize that that's their mountain, and that's what they're struggling with, and you can't. I mean, I remember just forget it. It's not worth it. Just come on, you're better than that. Like that kind of stuff, and it's not. That's not what you need to do. You need to be like, I understand, and what can we do to help you get past it, and what can we do to fix it, and not so much as you're stupid and
get over it.
Get over it. That's what I did. I remember thinking, oh my God, I did everything wrong, and that was a hard one. So then from there, I started learning more and more about how to talk with people and just learn more about it.
Wow. And, we were talking before we came on the air to do this interview that this is growing pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Take me through the growth that your walks that this has had, in the area.
Well, Sarah started this when she lost her brother and her mom, Laura. And I remember her telling me in the beginning that it was at the gardens at SIU. They had a few people, and it just got bigger and bigger. Like I said, right before COVID, it was we had about 400 people at the gardens at SIU. So we were already talking about we need to expand bigger because there wasn't a place enough to parking. There wasn't this. So we had originally looked at Troy Park, and then this stuff happened, and then COVID. So the first year of COVID, we had to be someplace where people could drop off donations or do T-shirts. So that year I left luminaries out, and people came and filled the luminaries. We lit them in the park and then drove by and did a Facebook Live and read their names because we wanted to still be able to do it.
Wow.
So then the first year back, there was probably 50 people. Most of my family and friends, super supporters, like a lot of the school kids are there. Last year we had over 100.
School, not to cut you off, but school kids showing up, really.
Yeah. So my kids have been very involved. I have 3 teenagers. I have my daughter, and then I have 2 grandkids. Well, they lost their dad to suicide. So they've always been involved with me doing this. They've been at the walks. They've participated. They talk about it. They know that it's important. So I've been very lucky. And then they've spread that to their kids, or to their friends. So
it's incredible.
So a lot of the high school kids, like now, some of them have graduated. We're coming back from school to be at your walk this weekend, and they're like, "What can we do to help?" So that to me is important because I think the teenagers are the ones that struggle a lot, and if we can teach them now, going forward to be an adult, will help them out. So
without a doubt. And now on top of that, I didn't mean to cut you
That's
off,
okay.
but now you're coming back. You had your super supporters there, and now where are we at now?
Well, when I last looked, we have 87 people registered on the website.
Good.
Right. So I'm always like, oh, just give me the 100.
Yeah,
so
give me to that hurdle.
Register. Yeah.
I got this. This is my call to action notification. Register. Because honestly, what I think is so cool about this is it's not just a walk. I mean, this is really a great way to raise awareness for suicide prevention because afterwards you're coming together, you're having some good food, and you're able to talk with some of the families that were affected by this. It's just powerful.
Yeah, it lets people know that you're not alone. I mean, everybody's got a different story, but it ended in the same result. So you're not alone in that respect. But everybody that's there. Not everybody. Some people struggle with suicide. They have a personal struggle. I've met people that had tried to take their own life and made it through. So they're there to support the other people that are like, hey, you don't want to do this. This is a really bad end to something that's just not. I can't think of the word, but just not. It's an end result that doesn't need to be there when we can just working on ourselves and helping each other out.
Well, and too, I think oftentimes, and just what I've observed is that we forget sometimes about the support staff of the individual that went down that path and had that unfortunate losing battle. Right. take me through how important it is for the support groups, so the friends, the family of the individual, to hear those stories and really just have that safe space to talk.
It is because so mental health obviously is a taboo. So suicide is a taboo. I think being there lets people know, like, hey, like here, here's my struggle. Here's what I went through. Like,
yes,
I doubted everything. I was mad. You go through so many emotions, and they're there. Like, I can be driving down the road on my way home today, and a song will come on the radio, and I'll be like, oh God, and it's there, and we need to let people know it's okay to have that struggle and to feel heartache, and to, it's not your friend took his life, but it's not the bad. It's not bad. It was their bad. That was bad, but it's not bad. They were struggling, and we need to recognize that as okay. It sucks, but they're not a bad person for doing it.
Absolutely. And we're talking about the Walk With Us to Prevent Suicide food truck community event as well. This is Saturday, September the 9th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Roxana Park. All benefits to... All proceeds, I do get paid.
Yeah,
all proceeds to benefit the American Suicide for Prevention Foundation. And I think this is such a really just amazing event. Now, take me through the layout of this. How long did it take you to put this together?
I usually start, I always say, I'm going to start in January, and then I let it fall.
Me too.
So I like to think, so I mean, it goes up every year. Like, I try to have a date as we're ending the walk, to be like, hey, it's always in September. So today starts Suicide Prevention Month, September 1st. We happen to be one of the first walks in Illinois this month, because obviously nobody's going to do it over Labor Day. So we're one of the first ones. I think us and like Waukegan or something. There's only 20 walks in Illinois, including the Chicago walk.
That's interesting to me. I would have thought there would have been more just because, wow.
There's 20, and we are one of the 20. We do fairly well. They've let us continue it. Like I said, we've grown our donations and everything else. But it doesn't take as long as you think, but it does. Like, especially when you decide to grow it. Like, just doing the walk, you just get a date, you make a plan, you have some picture stuff, and
you hope that it doesn't rain.
Right, you hope that it doesn't rain. But I have a rain or shine event, but I do have a rain plan. But growing it that's the hard part. Like, you want to use Facebook, and there's times that I think Facebook doesn't give you everything you want. Like, it squashes the word suicide.
Yep.
So you got to work around that, and then a lot of word of mouth. Like, just hey, and like this year, I said, like, you called. I had Troy Tribune reach out. I've had all these different people, reach out to me. So it's growing. I've got Foster's Light in the Dark. They're starting a non-for-profit. I've had now the hospitals reach out. They want to have a table. So it's just progressively getting big.
That's just incredible. And I'm really excited to see the turnout of this.
Me too.
And, I really hope that if you have the opportunity to go check this great event out, and it really is a great event, whenever you have a chance to really come together and feel a little bit more empowered and just being able to talk, have that support system, and seeing just people coming together to help your mission.
It's not sad. It's really a happy occasion. It's not sad. It's a happy occasion.
And that's what I wanted to make sure of. And sometimes, because I talk mental health all the time on this show, I think it's always good to highlight and address some of the issues and some of the resources that are available.
Yes.
But I think if you go about it with a different tone, I think it turns people off. And I think with this, to raise awareness in a positive way, but also have that support for the family and the individual affected is huge. And you're doing a great job.
Okay, thank you.
And now, with that being said, before I let you go, if people wanted to, are they able to make donations if they can't go?
Yeah, they can do it at the website, which is www.AFSP, American Foundation Suicide Prevention.org/MadisonIL. So that'll take you right to the page. You can also just go to the ASFP.org, and they will look for the walk events and then find the Madison County Walk. So it's for all of Madison County. Make a donation. You can come to the park that day and say, hey, I want to make a donation. We'll take the donation at the park. If you don't want to, a lot of people are afraid, no, I don't want to get online.
You're right.
Eat some food, come to the park, find me. I'll have a red shirt on that day. But, they can make a donation at the park as well.
That's just incredible, and I really encourage everyone to do that and really be a part of it. And by the way, that was impressive that you rattled off that website name without even looking.
I type it all the time.
Once again, if you're just tuning in for this fantastic conversation, on Saturday, September the 9th, Walk With Us to Prevent Suicide, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. That's where all the proceeds benefit. Jen Herring's been in studio with us, and I just really appreciate your conversations and appreciate your time. What's the best way for people to stay up to date on this event?
Facebook is about. There is a Facebook page. I can't rattle that one off. It's like the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, Out of the Darkness, Madison County, Illinois. You can find me on Facebook, Jen Herring. You can see it. I've shared. Look for Ray's Touching Tacos. Look for Sweet Little Things. I've put it on everybody's page all the time. So
And before I let you go, one
Yep.
last thing: how cool is it for you to see community, businesses like Sweetest Little Things, and and Rachel's coming together and really helping with this event too.
I got great friends. Number one.
Yep.
Number one, I got great friends.
Amen.
I love that. Then just having other people. It's amazing to me. Like print media did all of our media. The poster there that you're looking at. Print media. I met Lance. A long time ago, Lance DeMond, a long time ago through mutual friends. I reached out and I'm like, hey, this is what I want to do. Him and his business partner, made that in like a night. And then I found out later that she had lost her husband to suicide, and that was one of Lance's really good friends. So it's amazing that there's people out there you just don't know. And I never knew. I've known Lance for years, and I had no idea that he had somebody that had struggled or, had lost somebody. So it was nice. So you just call on favors, and it's hard for me to call on a favor, but I'm like, I don't want to ask you this, but I about cried the day I got that little thing. So it's pretty cool.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And Jen, just keep up the great work. I hope you have a great turnout.
Me too.
And just really thank you for what you're doing to raise awareness for suicide prevention.
Awesome. Thank you.
9:38 and a little bit of change. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back with Frontline Cleaning Services. This is really cool. They clean out and power wash your trash cans and all these things
Right.
that you and I wouldn't want to touch.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Exactly. So we're going to get more insights on this first responder owned business. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the rest of our daily show.